Egypt, a land steeped in history, found itself at the crossroads of global power dynamics in the 19th century. The Suez Canal, a marvel of engineering, was the linchpin. Completed in 1869, this waterway slashed through the Isthmus of Suez. It connected the Mediterranean to the Red Sea, dramatically shortening travel times between Europe and Asia. Control of the canal meant control of a vital trade artery. This made Egypt a highly strategic prize, attracting the attention of ambitious empires. Britain, with its vast colonial holdings, recognized the canal's significance. The quickest route to India, the jewel of the British crown, now lay through Egypt. Protecting this route became paramount for British interests. Egypt, once a powerful empire itself, became increasingly entangled in the web of European geopolitics. Egypt's ruler, the ambitious but financially reckless Ismail Pasha, saw the canal as a symbol of modernization. He embarked on expensive projects, funded by foreign loans, pushing Egypt deep into debt. Britain, sensing an opportunity, started buying up Egyptian bonds. They soon became Egypt's largest creditor. This financial leverage gave Britain significant influence over Egyptian affairs. When Colonel Ahmed Urabi, a charismatic Egyptian officer, led a revolt against foreign interference in 1882, Britain saw a threat. Urabi's nationalist movement aimed to curb foreign influence and reduce Egypt's crippling debt. Britain, fearing for its investments and the canal's safety, intervened militarily, crushing the Urabi revolt. This marked the beginning of British occupation, a pivotal moment in Anglo-Egyptian relations. With their boots on the ground, the British implemented administrative and economic reforms. They aimed to streamline Egyptian finances and ensure debt repayment. British officials took up key positions in the Egyptian government, effectively controlling the country's finances and administration. While these reforms stabilized Egypt's economy, they came at a cost. Many Egyptians, especially the peasantry, felt the burden of new taxes and land policies. The British focus on economic stability often overlooked the needs of ordinary Egyptians, fueling resentment towards foreign rule. Section 4. A Nation Awakens. The Rise of Egyptian Nationalism. The British presence, however, inadvertently sowed the seeds of its own demise. Exposure to Western education and ideas led to the emergence of a new generation of Egyptian intellectuals and nationalists. Figures like Mustafa Kemal and Saad Zaghloul emerged, demanding self-rule and an end to British occupation. They tapped into the growing sense of Egyptian identity and resentment towards foreign control. Newspapers, books, and political parties became vehicles for nationalist sentiments. The Egyptian people, inspired by their own rich history and the promise of self-determination, began to challenge British rule more vocally. Section 5. From Empire to Independence, Egypt in the shadow of world wars. The two world wars further complicated the Anglo-Egyptian relationship. Egypt, officially under Ottoman rule but effectively controlled by Britain, became a battleground during World War I. Egyptians were conscripted into the British army, fueling further resentment. The post-war period saw intensified demands for independence. Britain, weakened by war, finally recognized Egypt's independence in 1922. However, this independence was nominal. Britain retained control over the Suez Canal and continued to exert influence over Egyptian affairs. World War II saw Egypt once again occupied by British troops, highlighting the country's continued strategic importance. Section 6. Revolution on the Nile, Nasser, the Free Officers, and the Canal's fate. The decades following World War II witnessed the rise of Gamal Abdel Nasser, a charismatic military officer who embodied the spirit of Egyptian nationalism. Nasser and his Free Officers movement overthrew the monarchy in 1952, vowing to end British influence and improve the lives of ordinary Egyptians. In a bold move that sent shockwaves across the world, Nasser nationalized the Suez Canal in 1956. He declared it Egyptian property, aiming to use its revenues for national development. This act directly challenged British interests and sparked the Suez Crisis. Britain, along with France and Israel, launched a military intervention to regain control of the canal. Section 7. Legacy of the Pharaohs, Egypt beyond British rule. International pressure, however, forced Britain and its allies to withdraw, marking a humiliating defeat for the once mighty empire. The Suez Crisis was a watershed moment. It cemented Nasser's status as a pan-Arab hero and signaled the decline of British influence in the region. Egypt, finally free from British control, embarked on a new chapter in its history. The legacy of British rule, however, continued to cast a long shadow. The challenges of post-colonial development, the search for a national identity, and the enduring influence of the Suez Canal continue to shape Egypt's journey in the 21st century. Like and subscribe to Emgotvhistory Warfare for more stories.